Okay, raindrops. Who do we? Dustin must. He has a shoe tonight. Oh, a show, baby. Why you gonna read me? If Carlos was on time, I'll be in shock. You can't read me and have grammatical errors on your read. You too, Martine. Y'all can't be reading me and not give me a proper sentence. No, I'll address where Dustin's at. Okay, Daphne. Hello, Carlos King. I'm coming in live from LA. Well, do you see Dustin? Because Dustin's on the West Coast. That's why he's not here with us tonight. It's not his fault. His flight got delayed. Dustin's on the move, honey. That's what happened, child. He's on the move. I'm not the only one outside. Hi, Sheridan, my queen. Let me get some water in. Hold on, child. I need some like the H2O. Hold on. Okay. I have to clear my throat, child. Okay. We have a great show tonight. All right. So let's see. I'm Mrs. Risper. Didn't know we was in English. Well, I didn't know we was in English either or literature. I can't even say it. Literature. You try to read me, so I have to read you back. Okay. All right. Hi, raindrops. Dustin Ross is not joining us tonight. He was out of the state and his flight got delayed. Hey, Lionel. So he'll be back next Monday. But we're going to have a great show. Let her know, Sheridan, we are in journalism class. Hey, Porsha. All right, so quick shout outs. I'm going to bring on my guest. All right. We got Kelly McBride, D. Williams Jones, Kenley Martin. Hey, Chess. I love the way you keep posting my video of you being the most Carlos-fied version of yourself. You know, I'm just celebrating life. I'm celebrating being Carlos. You know, hey, Chastity. I'm wearing my chastity belt. Chastity. I'm wearing my chastity belt, child, with my chest open. Wide open. All right, Shantae Roberts. I love you in Charlotte. We got Drea M from Alabama. We got Do It from the airport. He's in the flight. He's on his flight. His flight lands like in an hour. If we're still on, I'll have him dial in. All right. We have a jam-packed show. We have so much to talk about. This weekend was on fire. Speaking of which, because I like to make sure my guests watch and read everything I'm going to talk about because we do operate professionally. And I want to make sure that they not only watch the episode, but read some things that happened this weekend. But knowing my guests, they probably already know what's going on. So, hi, Ashley, Cynthia. All right, ladies, gentlemen, gays, and days. Let's just get right into the show. Let's bring on the beautiful, the talented, a journalist, a model, an actress, a TV personality, a fitness guru, a comedian, a bona fide baddie. Give it up for my friend, Claudia Jordan. You're muted.
You would think I would know how to do this. Oh, after you gave me all those accolades, I couldn't even get my mic to sound right. That is crazy. I'm sorry. Hey, Carlos, what's up, boo?
Hi, baby. How are you?
I'm exhausted. I just got off tour and I was in Atlanta this week, and I saw a lot of former housewives. They were all out, like so many of them were out.
Who did you see? Who do I know?
I saw Lisa Wu. I saw Candy. I actually had dinner with Candy. I was at MCK and I heard that Nene was there, but I didn't see her. I went around the corner. I didn't see her. I think she was like, there's like a hookah part. I don't know if I didn't see her back there. Who else did I see? Well, those three alone, yeah.
That's major.
Then I saw Moneta. Then I saw Toya. I saw Rashida. So it was like a whole Love and Hip Hop, Real Housewives crossover. And I saw Mimi. So yeah.
Good. Are people just loving you, Claudia? Because the thing is this, you would think based on people believing social media is the real world, but we love social media. We thank you for your services. But people love you. So did you feel the love when you were in Atlanta amongst all those beautiful women?
I will say, Atlanta is a place, like, if you feel like your star is falling and like people ain't really checking for you no more, if you go to Atlanta, like they will always make you feel good. Like you could have been on one episode of In the House 25 years ago, the show with LL Cool J, and they'd be like, I remember you. And it's like, oh my God, you know who I am? Like I always say that. My friend Chancy always says, Claudia, you don't know that you're known, like you're famous, right? And I'm like, not really. And she's like, you are. So they showed me so much love. The play went amazing. I mean, it was such good vibes. The cast of Behind the Gate showed up to our play and they all came and gave us so many compliments. So like other talented actors giving me props, like it just felt really good. I felt a lot of love in Atlanta this weekend. I really, really did. I really did. Almost made me want to go back.
Oh, well, look, maybe there'll be a reason for you to go back to Atlanta.
Oh, they're going to say that I'm so thirsty to get back on the show.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with being thirsty. It's when you're dehydrated. We got to celebrate being, listen, this is no shade. I like thirsty people. I don't like dehydrated. It's when you are like, when you are at the desert and you are like so desperate for a drip that you would do anything for it. That's dehydrated. Thirsty just means you don't mind your thirst being quenched. You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually more hungry than thirsty because that's more substantive. I would say that. And I will say, Carlos, and thank you for allowing me to like play with you on Mondays. A lot of people came up to me and they said they really appreciated how like my views on the show and that they love the balance on the show. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come on here with you. It's been fun, you know. Oh, someone saw the show last night, the play.
You have fans. Listen, I want to say this. I'm going to bring on our guest. I want to say this, and I'm not going to get emotional because, you know, I'm very sensitive.
Well, I want to get emotional. I cried on your
show. My raindrops have seen me cry on this platform too many times for my liking. But what I will say is, listen, I think you are a beautiful woman inside and out. I've always said this in nauseam. I think you're super underrated and underappreciated. And I love the fact that you're being celebrated. I love the fact that you know what it feels like to come into my home, right? Which is my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And not only for the love and the respect that I give you, my team give you, but I love the fact that you get to hear it from your peers, from strangers, the raindrops in the comments. I mean, everyone's saying how much they love you. And it's listen, for me as a servant, it's the least that I can do is to give you a platform for you to be seen as your authentic self. Whether or not people agree with you, that's just how we are in the world. Mm-hmm. But I love the fact that I was able to invite you to my place with my raindrops who are very opinionated, and you shine by being you. So you don't owe me any thank yous. Just continue to be you. And I also want you to celebrate you more. You are beloved, Claudia, and I don't ever want you to feed too much into the negativity that comes your way, because the outpour of love outweighs the love that the community has for you.
Thank you for that, Carlos. I will say being on the road has reinforced that for me, because the people that are in the audience aren't the same people that are online that are making like negative comments. I always say like the people that are positive about you or that show love are usually a lot more quiet. They don't like they don't rush to message boards to be like, yeah, I don't like you. They don't go to give you your love either. They just kind of like you in peace. But in person, you know, being out on the stage and then going out and seeing actual faces and then them telling me to my face, it felt really good. So yeah. So thank you everyone that has shown me love over the years. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And somebody else
I do feel very happy right now.
Yes, listen, it's your season, it's your time. I said it to you behind the scenes. This is your season. So continue to do you. And this is also another person who loves you as well. She has been your best friend for like almost 3 decades, if not a little bit more. She is my friend. I met her on the set of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And as anybody who has ever worked on that show, worked with me, knows me, I love this woman. I think she is one of the most underrated reality stars. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get red. but it's the truth. She helped build Love and Hip Hop Atlanta on her back. And we're going to give her props. She's one of the founding mothers of that show. Give it up for my friend, Claudia's friend, the beautiful, the amazing mom as well, Mimi Faust.
Hi, guys.
Mimi.
What's up?
Baby, I love you.
Carlos, you've been there since day one. Well, Claudia was there way before you.
Yes.
But in your working career, you were there day one. I got to experience my highs and lows with you, just everything across the board. So I can honestly say and give you your props as well. Like, you taught me so much. You showed me so much. I had so many questions for you. I was green. I didn't know anything about this business. And you were like, do this, do that, or don't, or honey, So like, thank you so much for being a teacher to me during this journey and this process. Thank you.
No, listen, I will always be that for you. You're one of my girls. Both of you are. So I'm happy that we are reunited, and it feels so good. So before we get into the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I have an announcement I need to make. So Claudia, as you know, for the past couple of weeks, we have been talking about my show, Love and Marriage Detroit. We have had both Brandon and Kristina on the show. And I want to announce to everybody that on Saturday, Brandon and Kristina announced that they are officially divorced. Okay. And I want to read the statement from Brandon and Kristina that says, after nearly 14 years of marriage, the Smiths have decided to make the difficult decision to part ways. This decision was well thought out and wasn't made lightly. It comes after a great deal of reflection, care, and understanding. As we begin this new chapter, we remain committed to co-parenting our greatest blessings, Britton and Bailey, with love and respect. We are deeply grateful for your support and ask for your prayers and kindness as we navigate this transition as a family. With appreciation, Kristina, Brandon, Brittany, and Bailey. Claudia Jordan, are you surprised?
No. Just from my brief interactions with them when she did the show, it was, to me, it was obvious. Just little context, little things, little nuggets she threw out there. She was trying to act like kind of not tell us, but just little things she was saying, like, well, we'll see. I don't know, just the way she was like saying little things. She was being very subtle, and I caught it. I'm very observational, so I definitely caught it. And when he came on, he couldn't even, it was really a struggle for him to say something nice about his wife. He would just only talk about her career. So it's sad, of course. 14 years, a lot of people don't last that long. So, and I hate when people say it's a failed marriage, because a lot of people don't make it to 14 months. Okay. So don't feel bad. You went through lots and lots and lots of seasons where it wasn't easy, and you tried. And sometimes, listen, if you're going to have peace, separate and divorce and be happy in life, then go that route, because with what's going on in the world, we might be in World War III next Tuesday. So don't waste any time being unhappy. So I hope they can just, continue to be cool after this. There's no need to say something if it doesn't serve you anymore.
Mimi, you have anything you want to say?
I agree wholeheartedly. When you are in a marriage, I've never been married. Let's start there. It wasn't ever high on my list of things to do, first of all. But if there is a situation that you're in and it's no longer working or serving the two parties, why stay in it? You know what I mean? If you're happier apart, leave the marriage and keep the kids happy and just move on. Like, we got one life and it's short. So to be miserable in a situation is pointless.
Unfortunately for women, though, right? It's like, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. You get a divorce, it's like you can't keep a man. And then if you stay in something long, you're dumb. You're staying for the X, the Y, the Z. So forget what these people are talking about. What makes you feel good when you lay down at night and when you wake up in the morning? That's what you do.
Period.
Carlos, do you want to get married, Carlos?
No, I don't. I was with somebody. Mimi, do you know this? Mimi met my ex. Claudia, shut up.
African American.
Yes, thank you. Claudia. Mimi has met him, hung out with him. So I was with him for almost 20 years. And right, Mimi. And I never wanted to get married. He wanted to get married at one point. And then we both decided together that, yeah, let's just whatever. But who I am in my life right now in my 40s, this is my opinion. I think marriage is a business.
It is.
And I think marriage is overrated in the sense of I would rather be with somebody knowing that we are both with each other, not because of a certificate. I would want to know that any day now, you and I can walk out of the door if we wanted to. I will say this, and I'm going to not say much. If me and my ex were married, it would have been a very, 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 very challenging situation.
Okay.
But because we were not, it was easier to figure things out.
Definitely. I mean, yeah. I was married for a few months and I got filed for an annulment and we were not in a good place. So we weren't speaking to each other. So it made it very difficult. It took a year to get out of a 4-month marriage. It was ugly.
It's so easy to get married and it's so hard to get unmarried.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's so hard. So like,
you can literally go to the courthouse, get a license, and get married that night in a little white wedding chapel in Vegas. And then you're married and then try to get out and it's uncomfortable. And it kind of sucks though that someone that you at one point loved or thought you loved or loved each other, the person you marry is not the person that you divorce, sadly. You know?
And on top of this is the thing, we're not gonna stay on this. I will say this. Who you marry in the beginning of your marriage, that's not the same person 10 years after y'all got married. You have to redate, relearn, re-get to know this person. And that's the reason why I am a huge proponent of prenups, only because Michelle said I was married for 15 years before, never again. Michelle, tell us why, girl, give us a tea. I just believe in this. We all change and we all evolve, and we're going to get into the relationship between Shamea and Porsha, because I have a lot to say about that, especially Drew and Ralph as well. When you are in love in this club, shout out to Usher, you are in bliss and everything is great. And every 10 years, somebody changes, and it's not a bad change. It's an evolvement. And I just don't believe that you should be expected to stay in a situation. It's like, I'm going to say this, and a lot of my fans in the audience in the chat's going to be mad. I love y'all anyway. Being married is like working at a corporation. At some point, you want to leave the job. And you want to grow and do something else. But like Claudia and Mimi said, it's easier to get married. It's hard to get a divorce. It's hard to get a job, but it's easy to resign from it. So you put in your 2 weeks notice, you out that bee. In marriage, you have to stay with it. God forbid kids are involved during a divorce. You got to worry about custody battles. The kids it's a hot mess express. And I believe that if you want to get married, it's your prerogative. I think marriage is the most overrated business decision in the history of humans.
But as probably, maybe I'm the only hopeless romantic here, I still believe in it if it's right. I just feel like a lot of people marry the wrong person. I think we date the wrong person all the time. I think we spend years with the wrong person all the time. And maybe it's pressure. We just have to hurry up and get someone. There's a lot of pressure. Like if you don't have someone, something's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with waiting until the person is like, I think you should marry the person you feel like you can't live without, not the person that's like, you know, it should never feel like you're trying to force a square peg in a round hole. It's never going to work. You know, I still think it could be a beautiful thing. At the end of this thing called life, I don't want to be in my last days alone. You know, I never chose to have kids, but I would like to have a partner like that I share inside jokes with. I actually have that right now with my best male friend, which happens to be my ex-boyfriend, who we spend just as much time together now as when we were together. We just are not intimate.
The weirdest thing ever. Like,
I know, and I want them to get back together, but I also respect Claudia's decision of being like, It's no, and I'm not here to tell Claudia Jordan what to do, child. But Mimi, obviously you you have been with a man for many years,
Yes.
and you have been with a woman for many years.
Yes.
I want to ask you this. In your experience, who is better at a relationship, a man or a woman?
Well, to be honest with you, both of them sucked. They both sucked at the end of the day. They both had their different things that they did. You know what I'm saying? Let me say this. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Ty was way better long-term relationship than Stevie could ever be in his freaking life. I will say that. But they both had their challenges.
Mm. That's a nice way to say
I
it.
just think it was. I'm not going to say it was a man or woman thing. I'm going to say it was a human being thing. It was a personality thing. It was like who you are. It was that. So yeah, Ty was a better situation for me than Stevie any day of the week.
I could agree with that from a friend point of view.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that too, Claudia, because you have lots to say.
Oh, I'm like Mimi's psychic. She just doesn't listen to me. I'm Mimi's medium. And I've been right here under her nose for 28 years, but this heifer don't listen. He goes and signs contracts without talking to me. I'm like, I have a lawyer you can talk to. You be signing these 360 deals. I got you hand up. I'm like, Mimi, I am your dog and I want nothing from you. I want you to win. Me and Mimi go back. We were roommates for a year in 1997, 98, I think it was, in LA. Yeah. Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Back then I gave her advice.
Just in your defense and mine, like when I'm at the contract table, it never occurs to me, call Claudia. And I don't know why.
Me neither.
I don't know why, but it never occurs to me to call Claudia when
it don't have to be me, Mimi. I'm not a narcissist. It doesn't have to be me. Just call somebody that knows contracts. I'm gonna get
this. Not everybody gives good advice. So I can't just call somebody because I've gotten in a lot of trouble asking the somebodies for good advice and have been,
so you do ask people. You just don't ask a dog. Got it. Okay. Noted.
Ill-advised.
What?
Clock it.
Listen, I don't miss nothing. Mimi.
Clock it. Okay. So we got the beautiful Claudia Jordan. We got the beautiful Mimi Files from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And we are going to recap the Real Housewives of Atlanta right now. I want to say this. My thoughts and prayers do go out to Brenda and Kristina from Love and Marriage Detroit. As they stated in their announcement of divorce, they are doing what's best for them in their time of reflection. And I fully support that. So with that being said, yes, go ahead, Claudia.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt you on your show here, but someone I just have to read this message that's to you. I just thought it was really interesting. Facts Only says, hey, Mimi and Claudia, guess what? King of the Raindrops has never been married because he has never met me. Although I will never marry again, if he ever meets me, I will change his life forever. Set by God.
Who said that?
Facts Only said it at 6:28. Wow.
To my YouTube moderator, can you put that up in the screen?
He's gonna change your life, Carlos.
Oh, baby. I see. Listen, I am a single man.
Excuse me?
Oh. Claudia.
Excuse me?
Get him together, Claudia.
Carlos, if anyone knows about my skills and how I clock, excuse me?
Claudia.
He wasn't not married.
I'm not married.
All right, I threw you a lifeline. Okay.
I'm not married. Thank you, Claudia Jordan. See, Mimi, listen to Claudia. Okay, so Facts Only, thank you so much for your statement. I don't see a picture of you. I see a green box with F. So happy birthday, congratulations. All right, so let's get into tonight is gonna be so much fun. I'm so giddy because I'm here with Claudia and Mimi, and they are best friends, and they are the perfect two to recap tonight's last night's episode tonight. So let's get into the Real Housewives of Atlanta. As you all know, Shamea and Porsha are going through this tough time in their friendship. So the episode started out with Shamea meeting with Cynthia Bailey. And she spoke about what her and Porsha are going through. In this conversation, she did mention along the lines that Porsha's mother and Shamea's mother aren't friends anymore. Okay, so as you know, Claudia, a housewife gets the episode a day or two before it airs. On Saturday morning, I want to say it was 7:30 a.m. Okay, I want to say it was 7:30 a.m. I wasn't even able to wipe the cold from my eye. And I go on Instagram as I'm preparing for my day. And Porsha Williams posted a message on her Instagram feed, Mimi and Claudia, not the stories, but the feed. Okay. So I'm going to tell you all what she said. Because I'm a journalist. Hey, Porsha. Hey, Claudia. And I want to make sure that I read to y'all verbatim what she. Okay, wait. Can I find it? Did I delete it? Oh, shoot. Hold on, child. Okay, I'll look for it.
Okay.
But long story short, Porsha told Shamea that she watched the episode. She didn't like the fact that the mothers was brought up and that she is going down the wrong road. When you guys watched that particular scene, did you feel like Shamea was trying to throw the mother? Okay, I got it for you. I'm gonna read it to you. Okay. Porsha goes, I'm gonna just say this. I'm watching new episode at Shamea. She added her. We respect when you keep it on the playground. Mm-hmm. She added Shamea. I'm gonna just say this. I'm watching new episode at Shamea Morton. Now, don't take it there. Don't imply shit about Diane Williams. That's Porsha's mother. I've been keeping it cute, quiet, and you can do and say what you want in me. But hear me when I say, all caps, wrong road. Talking about, well, your mom thought my mom was a friend, knowing goddamn well what she did to my mom was highly egregious. Don't do it. Keep playing victim and that BS. Don't F with my mom.
Porsha wrote egregious?
Yes, EGREGIOUS, Claudia Jordan.
First of all, I like to give props where props are due, so that's great. That's a big word. Stop it, Porsha. You're reaching. Now it goes from the beef between you and your friend to now being mad about the mothers. What Shamea said was not even that bad about your mama. And they may very well have had some kind of beef that you were not even born or around for. I just think that I think Porsha's season has been disappointing and she knows it. The fact that Simon, and I put a lot of that on Simon by being so petty and blocking a lot of her storyline. So now you're willing to blow up your friendship with your friend. And now bring the mom. Like, I don't think what Shamea said was really bad. She was giving context to what she's saying. I do not think that Shamea was being an evil person. I don't think she was being messy. I do, however, think that Shamea doesn't feel maybe as confident thirsty. Now that's thirsty. You call me thirsty. I'm not thirsty. This is thirsty right here. Okay.
First of all, I didn't call you thirsty, Claudia. There's nothing wrong with being thirsty.
Not you. No, it was one of the raindrops.
Okay.
Yeah. I just think that when you feel like you're not heard by the person that you want to hear you're gonna go talk to someone. You have to get it out at some. You have to get it out at some point. And I feel like she felt comfortable talking about the situation. Plus, She's on a reality show where she has to do a scene. She has to talk about it. Like, is that being lost on folks? And Porsha knows better. I just don't, in my opinion, I don't think what she said was that, like, she wasn't talking shit and trashing the mom or Porsha's mom. I think Porsha was reaching with that.
My opinion on this is whatever is going on in their friendship that we don't know about, because I'm sure it's a lot, of course, it's a lot we don't know about. And whatever Porsha is going through currently, i.e. her divorce, she doesn't want to discuss this real thing that's happening with her and Shamea. Shamea is visibly saying, I want to talk to you. I want to communicate with you. Please tell me what's going on. And Porsha shuts her down every step of the way. She's no, she's stopped. I don't, and so it's, you can't have a one-sided conversation. Shamea, I see, is trying to talk to her friend, and Porsha is visibly not trying to have these conversations. It's just very obvious.
Okay, so I want to talk about this because one of the other things that was said in Shamea's sit down with Cynthia, she did say that Porsha told her that Miss Diane did say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as she was talking about Shamea. And my thing is this, okay? We're now aware, right? We are aware that a set of best friends, mothers, aren't getting along. And in my opinion, I think it's the reason why I don't think a lot of people are really resting on that. I'm sure it is hard to be best friends with somebody where our mothers have beef.
For sure,
right?
For sure.
Yeah. So one of the things that I really want to dive into in this episode, and we'll talk about the scene between Porsha and Shamea. First of all, this episode was great to me. I love personal story. So to get an opportunity to really see some of that you and I speak about, Claudia, we love the read, we love the shade and all that. But this episode to me really dived deep into what was going on. We're now seeing the root of what has been evident. I'm not saying this is the sole reason, but it's some of it. Two girls who are best friends, mothers, are getting along. For whatever reason, we don't know that yet. The producer did ask Shamea, well, why did your mom and Ms. Diane fall out? And Shamea did not answer the question. It is clear that is part of the reason that these two women have this very weird dynamic. And in order for us to really understand it, don't you two feel, maybe you don't, that to me is a huge part of this as well?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine if my mother, well, actually I had a friend before, a really good friend that one of my mom was like always kind of throwing shots at, and it made it really uncomfortable. And I felt like I was like between a rock and a hard place because of course I love my mom, but then I also love my friend. And I feel like my mother was wrong in that situation. I feel like she was like assuming things about something that wasn't true. And I felt like it was my place. Like I'm also the type that just because someone's blood doesn't mean I ride with you no matter what you do. I still have to be like, no, mom, you're wrong about that. Or you're not right. Or let me tell you the real about this. And I just didn't think that was cute to just sit there and like, her mom saying the apple don't fall far from the tree. That's like the 11th time that someone shaded Shamea in front of Porsha, and Porsha just doesn't say anything. Like she just never defends her friend. And if there is this big thing that Shamea is doing that we don't know about, let us know. And then maybe we'll be more empathetic to you and be like, all right, Porsha, you're right about that. You know what I mean? But we don't know this bad thing that Shamea has supposedly done to Porsha. And if she would tell us, then we would know. But if she doesn't tell us, it just seems like you're being a hater. Maybe you don't like that she's in your territory now, getting attention. But it's so weird. Like the moms have beef, but Porsha's mom, Diane, is the one that said the apple don't fall far from the tree. And then Shamea was the one that didn't want to divulge exactly what the thing is. So again, Shamea to me is still being a little protective. Like she's giving you a little bit, but she's still not going there. She could get gutter and she's not. And then Porsha goes and writes that message like, damn, are they calling each other? But I don't know. Me, what you think?
Like I said, there's something behind the scenes clearly that we don't know about. And these two women are just giving the bits and the piece of the meat and potatoes of the situation. And until they feel comfortable having a conversation on camera where everybody's going to be in the dark. Everybody's going to be like, what's going on? Because it's just, these bits and pieces from this side, She's saying this, she's saying that, and she's not saying this, she's not saying that. So nobody knows what's happening.
So this is the thing. I really want to take a deep dive into what is going on between Shamea and Porsha. Mm-hmm. I watched the episode. I actually watched the episode twice because I really wanted to pay attention to the nuances so that we could really have an educated conversation on the dynamics of female friendships when it comes to two women in the same industry. One makes it big and the other one does not, right? Mm-hmm. I want to have a real conversation, okay? So what we know for sure is this. Shamea and Porsha have been friends since they were teenage girls, right? Middle school / high school, right? Who you are as teenagers, oftentimes you're not the same when you're a woman in your 40s, okay? You have different dreams and different goals. From my understanding, okay, when they have this sit down, what we aren't really talking about, Mimi and Claudia, two women who have been best friends since they were in their early 20s. Shamea did get her hand caught in the cookie jar, mm-hmm. right? By having a pinky swear with Angela, okay, and Drew Sidora about, I'm going to tell you what's going on between me and Porsha, but don't tell anybody. Angela said that she used one hand to pinky swear and the other hand to cross her fingers, like, I'm not keeping a secret. This is what Angela said. I barely know you. I'm not keeping no promises, right? Long story short, these girls found out that there were some issues going on between Porsha and Shamea based on Shamea revealing that. So what was confusing to me, and I want to get your thoughts on this, when Shamea is on the episode saying Porsha allowed these girls to get in her head, listen, I love them both, but I was confused because to me, the only reason we know about this is because Shamea did tell Angela and Drew in a pinky swear sorcery of a secret. Mm-hmm. So isn't that sort of female friends? Isn't that sort of the crux of what the issue is as we're seeing it played out this season?
Now, I will say this, and I know, I'll think I'm always going to just never say anything positive about Porsha. Yes, I would definitely feel a way if my best friend was on the show and made pinky swears with other girls to tell our business before talking to me. If you have not tried to talk to me, if you try to talk to me first, that's one thing. But if you never did, and it's the first time y'all having a conversation, that's another thing. But we can sit here and say and pretend that the girls didn't know until Shamea spilled the beans. But the girls have been at all the other outings where Porsha has been shading Shamea. When they were playing Shamea's song, Porsha's like, is this Drew? Like, you don't know what your best friend's voice sounds like? There's been other instances where Porsha has shaded Shamea, showing up to the birthday party late, making it about her. Like, there's other things that the girls, even if Shamea did not sit down and tell the girls that there's been issues, they have two eyes and they have two ears, and they can see that something was brewing. Now, Shamea did go ahead and confirm it with the girls, like kind of putting the nail in the coffin. But it's not like they were oblivious before Shamea had this scene and Pinky swore, But I will say I can empathize with Porsha. If my friend was on a show with me and there was other scenes where you're talking about me, I would like to know about that. I would. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. As someone that was friends since their teenage years, and now you're on a show, and from my understanding, Shamea is on the show because of Porsha, correct? Okay.
Well, I want to say this, and Claudia and Mimi, you guys can ask me any question from a producer perspective. Mm-hmm. We got to have a real conversation, and this is what's not happening on the show because Porsha and Shamea aren't having real conversations to each other, right? They what I saw last night, and Mimi, I'm gonna go someplace with this based on what you're asking.
Okay.
Hey, Dustin.
Dustin,
you made it.
You're muted, Dustin.
That's right. Don't y'all never think that I'm motherfucking too far away. Okay, I'm right here waiting away, fresh off the plane. What's up, Mimi? How beautiful?
How you doing?
Good. How are you? What's up, Claudia? Love. What's up,
My
Los?
boy, I'm so glad you made. They're in the comments like, "Where's Dustin? Where's Dustin?" Like,
you.
he got me back. He on a plane because he's a baller. He be doing things everywhere.
Listen, I had to go work in LA. Much love to Los Angeles. I had a great, productive, restoring weekend. I feel really good. So I'm ready to talk some shit. Let's talk about these housewives.
You look
okay?
young
Yeah.
and refreshed and happy.
Thank
You look
you,
like you had a
friend.
good weekend, friend.
Thank you, friend. I did, and I'll definitely be texting you the Cliffs notes later on.
I
Okay.
got something to text you too. I had a person of interest, but I'll tell you about that later.
Okay, for sure.
I'm in y'all group chat. Are y'all about to Shamea and Porsha me and Sticky Square?
No, I'm gonna tell you guys both. I was actually.
You see how they do raindrops? They are about to Shamea and Porsha me.
I'm gonna group text with you guys, you both.
What's wrong, Carlos? Are we boring you? What is Shamea tell?
Oh!
What's your question?
Yeah.
Am I boring you? Let's talk about that sit down. Let's talk about it. That was something to see. That was something to see. Okay.
As I move my forks and knives out
Clank and silverware. Porsha was
baby. Y'all gonna be
just
mad at me.
moving
I don't
around.
care. I don't care.
A lot of
I don't care.
passive
Y'all
aggressive.
gonna be mad at me. When Porsha moved those forks and knives, she ate that, pun intended. I thought, listen, I don't care. Read me. I love television. I love subtle shade. When Porsha rearranged the silverware, the table, that was, I literally laughed at the screen and said, Porsha, you are petty, and that is funny to me.
Very loudly rearranged.
Very loudly. I was here for it. Okay, but Dustin, thanks
Yeah.
for joining. Okay, we're gonna have a real conversation.
Let's do
Because
it.
Mimi asked a good question. Mimi said, is Porsha on the I'm sorry, is Shamea on the show because of Porsha? Okay. The fast answer is yes. And hear me out. Without Porsha, we would not have known who Shamea is. Right? I'm not saying that Porsha contacted human resources, filled out the job application, sit in her birth certificate, wrote down her social security number, and
Mama's
did 3
maiden
references.
name. Yeah.
Yes, mother's maiden name. And give me 3 security questions. What's your first model of your car? What's the name of your pet?
How many days during the year?
Listen, I understand what's happening. It was just that we're friends for a very long time. And that's how Shamea got on the show. This is my bestie. This is my girl. You know what I'm saying? But Shamea put in her work to be a housewife and get a peach. So I get the dynamic of the situation. I'm just saying initially how Shamea was introduced to this situation was from Porsha, right?
And Candy,
Yes.
right? Didn't Candy
Yes.
have a hand on it too?
I'm gonna tell you the story again. That's the reason why Monday Night Live is the best show on YouTube on Monday nights through Sunday. I'm teasing. It's because I'm gonna get. I'm having fun, y'all. It's because I'm gonna give y'all some backstory. Okay, Porsha came on the show season 5. Okay, we met Shamea because of Porsha, and that's what you do. Claudia, you know this. Mimi, you know this. Mimi, yes. you brought Arian on the show, and I want to get your thoughts on that because Mimi brought a friend on the show, and I want to dive into your friendship with Arian based on you bringing a friend to the show. As producers, you throw, you ask like, who's your girl, whatever. Shamea came on with Porsha. Now, in terms of who got Porsha on season 16 that we're currently watching, there are conversations, and Candy said this out her own mouth because she said it. Candy said that she put in the word to the producers to hire Shamea. That's what Candy said. Okay. So that's tier 2 to how Shamea got on. But we only know of Shamea because Porsha did bring her as a friend. And secondly, Shamea was definitely a main storyline season 9. Okay. She came to the reunion. So the one thing that I want to ask the ladies, and Dustin, obviously you too, because I'm going someplace with this. Nobody wants to have a real conversation that isn't PC. And that is what happens when your friend wants a job at your place of work. Okay? What happens when that's the case? What happens when you two are friends and we have our dreams in life and one person becomes a Real Housewives of Atlanta? Okay? And then all of a sudden, that person's friend wants to be a housewife too. Is there some sort of code when it comes to female friendships? So I want to get to Mimi first, because Mimi, you were a main cast member on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and your best friend Arian was on the show as your friend. What I know, my time there were conversations about whether or not Arian should be full time. People love her; she's gorgeous, fan favorite, all those things. Was there something that you felt was did the dynamic between you and Arian shift when she came on the show?
Absolutely. The dynamic shifted as soon as those cameras started rolling. Arian began to befriend everyone that disliked me, began to have conversations and do things with everyone who disliked me for the spotlight. If you are my friend, you are not going to be Nico's wife's muse. You are not going to side with K. Michelle and give her the flowers to hit me in the face with. You are not going to do these things if you are my friend. So these things I saw in real time that were happening that just was like, it was aha moments. I had so many aha moments. But at the end of the day, I gave her grace still. But this is my friend. But she's my friend. But she's my friend. And I kept forgiving and forgiving. And at some point, I'm like, nah. My friend, someone who says they're my best friend, would not do these things to me. My best friend is not going to scoot over and let Jocelyn sit next to me to slap me or throw something in my face. My best friend's not going to do that. And these are all the things that Arian consistently did, scene after scene after scene. And, at some point I had to wake up and just like, yo, I see what's happening here. You want your spotlight. You want to be where I'm at. And that's just what it was with us. I'm not saying this is what is going on with anybody else. This is what it was with Arian and I.
Dustin?
Y'all cool now?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not. No.
So the show tore your friendship up in that way.
Absolutely. Let me give you another little nugget. She just didn't have a chance before we got on TV to do me dirty. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
It was her opportunity to just show who she really was. There were little things that happened in our friendship that I took notice of. And I'm like, damn, let me tell you something. Claudia and I in 27, 28 years Claudia's never stole a pair of my fucking shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Let me just tell you a little story. I let this woman borrow a pair of Louboutins, brand new, had never worn them. She had somewhere to go. Oh, I need these. Here, I let her use the Louboutins. A month and a half goes by. She never offered to give me my shoes back. I'm like, damn. So I went to her house. We had a booking. I go to her house. I see the Louboutins sitting right out on the steps. It was a few pairs of shoes, which let me know you just wore them. I'm like, cool. I get them back tonight, blah, blah, blah. Get my makeup done. I go back out in the entrance. The shoes are gone. So I'm like, just the Louboutins, not the rest of the shoes. So that means you realize, oh, they were out. Let me put them up somewhere. Not let me put all the shoes away, but let me remove these and hide them. So I said, oh, we playing this game. So I tell you, she got her makeup done. I tore her house up. Tore her up. Looking for my shoes. I'm looking everywhere because I'm like, you put them somewhere. They were just out. Found them in the back of the closet under a pile of clothes.
And you took them, right?
And I put my shoes right in the bag, and I didn't say a word because clearly this is the game we playing, right? Put them right in my bag, and we went to the booking, and we did all of the stupid, and it was never spoken of. When she went to go look under that pile of clothes, guess what? The shoes were gone. But my friend would never do that. My best friend, is not going to try to steal my shit. Claudia.
I'm over here chomping at the bit.
Come on. So it was things like that I'm like, she was just waiting for her opportunity to just really show her true colors. And she did. So I can't even be surprised about it.
With guys, it's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? With guys, it works a little bit differently, but the same elements of jealousy, envy, resentment, people that harbor resentment, all that shit still exists. And personally, I just don't think it's any place in real friendship for that. If I'm winning, there's always room at the table for my people, my friends that are talented, have gifts. Like, we all do what we do, and there's room for everybody's brand of what they do. I will never understand people that gatekeep opportunities and keep their fans out of the spotlight. If you winning, the best feeling in the world would be for your friend to be winning right next to you, and y'all getting that shit together. That's just how I feel. I'm not a hater though, so it's a little bit different. The minute I sense any of that shit, any jealousy, anything that's not official and genuine, I'm out, because you don't need to have access to me, and I don't need to be vulnerable to your harm, and vice versa. Because if I find out, I'm gonna harm you. So that's why, we just need to be protected from each other. And if we're not going to truly be friends and have each other's back, leave me the fuck alone. You don't even have to be around here. We don't even have to do this. Just go on somewhere and let me rock. So, Mimi, I would have wore them shoes out the house. I'd have put them on and wore my tie. See you later, girl. Click, clack, right on that driveway.
The raindrops are asking who we're talking about that just joined us. We're talking about Arian stealing Mimi's shoes. That's hella ghetto. Well, keeping the shoes that Mimi borrowed. The question about, can you, if your friend comes on a show into your workplace, into your situation, is that bad, or does that ruin the friendship or whatever? Not if they're your real friend.
Right.
The problem is she wasn't your real friend before. That camera just magnifies who the fuck she already was. She was already trifling and looking at you. Mimi has a very caring heart. Mimi is very, very generous. I tell her this all the time. She has given so much money and grace and food and cash
shoes
and Louis and hair and places to stay and use my car to so many people. And when she was down and out, I can count on maybe this hand who was there back for her. None of them hoes. And a lot of them that benefited with Mimi was at the very top when she was on the #1 reality show that was out there, was all in her face. They were all the parties. They were all there for the good times. Mimi was treating for everything. And when she's not on the show, where are they now? Now, if that person was really your friend, they're not going to mind. It's going to, let's go run it up. I was on TV way before Mimi, and we had many conversations. She did not know what she wanted to do. And we had many conversations where Mimi would be very upset about, I just don't know what I want to do in life. Mm-hmm. When my friend got in the reality space and blew up and went right past me where I was, there was not one tinge of jealousy. I was in Memphis board defending my friend. Mm-hmm. I was had her back. I was so happy that my girl found something. And something found her and blew her up, and the people in the world could see how dope of a person she is. There was nothing of that. And I would have loved if we could have both been on either Love and Hip Hop or Atlanta Housewives together, because we would have ran that shit. There was none of that. It wasn't like, oh, you coming over here where we are. No, I was so proud. We go to Lenox Mall when I come to Atlanta, and I'm on Housewives, and she's on Love and Hip Hop. And we was like, if the older ones knew who I was and the younger ones knew who she was, it was dope as shit. That's how you feel about a friend you really love, not someone that you just around to benefit off of. And Mimi had a lot of little, leeches around her. A lot.
So I do want to ask you this, though, because this is a great parallel. When Arian was on the show, did she ever sit down and say to you, I want to be a full cast member on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta?
No.
Okay.
She never expressed that to me. She just showed it in her actions while filming with other people and conversations with others. It was never a conversation that she had with me personally, no.
And the reason why I brought this up, because Claudia, Dustin, and Mimi, I want to ask y'all this. As I'm watching the show, so when Porsha and Shamea sat down, I think they both were not ready for that conversation because that's not the dynamic of their friendship. I think Porsha and Shamea do, this is my opinion, I don't think they have the type of friendship where they are truthful. And when I say truthful, I mean having tough conversations with each other. That is their own truth. I don't think that's their dynamic. And what I did as my homework assignment, I watched those scenes multiple times because I wanted to understand the dynamic of this friendship. So when Shamea told Porsha, well, off camera, I checked you. I should say check you. Shamea did not say check you. Off camera, I spoke to you about you over talking me, right? Off camera, I did these things. And that to me signaled you two don't have the type of friendship to where on camera, you're able to have those real conversations because y'all both do it off camera. And I thought they both came to that scene not ready to hear each other. I think Porsha was so focused on, I can't believe we have this conversation on camera. I don't know what she's about to say. And I think Shamea was like, I now have the floor to express myself. Did you guys gather that when you was watching it too? We can start with Dustin.
100%. Porsha is the dominant personality in their friendship, and they have not found a rhythm after 20 years where Shamea can exist within the fullness of herself. That's plain as day, clear to see. It's evident from the minute they share screen time, right? That's why Shamea seems to be fighting for respect. And that's never a good position to be in any relationship, but especially with somebody who's supposed to be your best friend. So they have a lot of work to do. I actually think that their issues being pushed to the forefront and then being forced to address it because of the show is a good thing. It's a good thing. And I love seeing Shamea as a housewife. I love hearing her speak. I think she has one of the prettiest speaking voices I've ever heard in my life. I love seeing her be rich with them beautiful Black children. I love all of that. And so I think there's definitely room for her. And this is when, like, you have to be careful about allowing your work to define you and be your identity, right? Because if you being a part of this cast, and I'm not speaking about anyone in general, this is for any housewife. If you being a part of that cast is what makes you who you are, then you're going to end up fracturing friendships like that when your friends become involved in this thing and you don't want them to get full exposure, but the powers that be do. You know what I'm saying? That's what this conflict is about. A lot of Porsha's identity right now, and basically since the public has known her, has come from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I think she did not want to. I just think that she has just connected herself to that brand so much that she feels like Shamea is kind of stepping on her toes, and she's really not, because they both can be on that show and do their thing. So I don't know. I just know I'm never gonna be little boy like that. Ain't nobody never gonna be snatching up silverware on me and talking over my song and shit like that. Like that's things, those microaggressions, and not even microaggressions, those aggressions. You know what I'm saying? They just don't have a place in friendship. So
I'm a pick. Go ahead, Mimi. I'm sorry.
I'm going to say maybe it's because Porsha's house is crumbling down and Shamea's house is strong right now. And the dynamic is doing this, not even on camera, but off camera in real life. And so now on camera, it's making it very uncomfortable because now the roles are kind of reversing. And so, which is making it difficult for these two women to even converse, you know, because Shamea now is finding her voice and being more vocal. And Porsha is like, are you kidding me? So it's a clash at this point in time.
Also now, for the first time in their relationship, I do, Dustin, to piggyback off of you, it's obvious Porsha little girls Shamea all the time. Although Shamea clearly has more wealth, has a successful marriage, has a family life, all of those the things. Porsha, listen, there's no denying Porsha has the fame, she has a lot of charisma and all of that. I feel like Porsha, to her sister and as well as to Shamea, treats people like they're her assistants or her fans. And she's the star in her friend circle. So when Shamea when Shamea finally speaks up for the first time and all that we see of, it almost is like, wait, what? You talking to me like that? That's not been their dynamic. You can tell from that. And then in that lunch when they met up, it looked like Shamea was almost coming a little too hard because finally, I finally got the win behind me and I have this. And so she almost came up a little too aggressive in the scene. Like, and then because she's been holding it in for 20 years.
Right.
So you're getting all of these things from 5 Christmases ago. And then that one time you did me dirty. And then another time. So it's a little unfair to unleash it all in that scene to Porsha. I will say that. In a healthy relationship, when it happens, you address it, then we move on. So now the argument we're having today is just about today. It's not about what happened at prom. It's not about the time you overshadowed me. You know what I mean? So I feel like Shamea is like, almost with Nene and Cynthia. People said that about Cynthia and Nene. Like Nene had the dominant personality, and finally season 7 with the backing of Team Pretty and all that. She's rah rah. Although I know Cynthia to be rah rah outside of that. It almost feels like, wait a minute, you ain't never come at me like that before. I'm more comfortable with you being in a beta position and me being alpha. So now it feels like you're coming for me when I'm not. I'm just trying to make us more equal.
Claudia Jordan. I mean, listen. I'm sorry.
You better get to that silverware, Carlos.
All night, I got props. Knives, spoons, and forks. Listen, because Claudia, thank you for clocking it. The reason why I was so thrilled to talk about this today with you guys is because I could care less about all the nuances. I care more about what really happens in friendships. And I want my audience to be real and not pick favorites, okay? Let's just have a real conversation. Claudia hits the nail on the head every week. She does. The thing is this. Every friendship has different dynamics and personalities. I'm sorry. In some friendships, I'll clock my own shit. I was in a friend group in my early 20s where I was the beta and another guy was the alpha, right? He was tall, gorgeous, and everybody loved him, right? And he got everything he wanted. And the dynamics of our friendship was, he never little boyed me, but I definitely understood that you're the alpha. I'll go deeper. You're the leader. I'm the follower. Because I can say this now that I'm older. Back then, I would never admit it. Because it's not cute to admit that. But in real friendships, there are groups of people where one person is the dominant one and the other person is not. Okay? And when the other person is not the dominant one, it does cause friction. The reason why me and this guy fell out is because I finally stood up for myself and I said, I'm sick and tired. He didn't little boy me. He did something shady. And I wrestled with confronting him. Long story short, I confronted him. We fell out and we haven't spoken since. Because the dynamic of our friendship just wasn't that. And in my friend group now, there's no followers. But in my friend group now, we're all successful people, but we all have very different dynamics of our friend group. I just told y'all last week, one of my friends said, bitch, you're Carlos King. I love being a +1. I'm Gail King. You're Oprah. And bitch, I want you to know I'm here for it. I got my own life. I don't want to be famous. Please don't put a camera in front of me. But we have these conversations. And I think the disservice that Porsha and Shamea are doing to each other, they're not sitting each other down saying, look, I could feel some kind of way you wanting to come on my job. Or Shamea saying, like Claudia said, I'm sick and tired of being the background singer and I want a leading role in this. I really want to know if Shamea ever told Porsha, hi, I would like to be a housewife. I would like to hold a peach. It's weird. Mimi just talked about how Arian allegedly did not do that. I'm saying alleged because, child, I love all the girls. But what I'm saying is I have a best friend who works at a network. I've had my dreams. He got his dream. If my best friend saw me walk into this network in the lobby and he's like, what are you here for? Oh, child, I'm applying for a job. He would have every right to feel some kind of way if I did not sit him down and say, hi, I would like to have a job at your place of employment. And I think we got to talk about the elephant in the room. If Shamea never once said Porsha down and say, look, I would like to be a peach holder, put in a word for your girl. If she never did that, I would understand why this dynamic is the way it is today.
I don't believe that they never had a conversation about this. Didn't Shamea hook her up with Simon?
I don't know.
I find it hard to believe that they never had when you're on a show and they every single year are looking for new castmates. You mean to tell me that you and your best friend are not going to have a conversation like, oh, I will. Hey, man, if there's a spot, slide me in there, or you should actually be the one to say it. I don't know. I would want my friend on the show over some new girls I don't know.
We've also been seeing, because I agree with you, Carlos, right? That would be fine. It would just be unnatural because if you're friends with somebody, those are the type of details of your life that you discuss, right? But in this case, right, the circumstances are a little bit more unique because per what I've been told and what we've all been told, right, in interviews, they've been eyeing Shamea to be a housewife and be a peach holder for a long time. And she just could not do it because her husband wasn't willing to film. And I guess it wouldn't be the total package. So this being season 16, if they've been approaching Shamea since season what? 5, 6, 8, 9, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Okay.
Shamea, when Shamea was on season 9, first of all, Shamea is one of the most beautiful women I lay light on. She's so gorgeous. Shamea has the personality. She has the life. She has everything necessary to be the star that she is. And there's not one person breathing who can take away Shamea's shine.
Right.
When Shamea was approached to do the show, so I want to get into the approach because, and I'm not saying Shamea did this. But when you are casting for any reality show, let's just stick to Atlanta Housewives for today. It's one thing for a casting director to pick up the phone and say, I would like to put you on tape. Ladies, gentlemen, gays and days, when they call you, it doesn't mean you got the job. So and I need to address that. There's a process. When I met Claudia at the gay bar and I said, I want you to be a housewife, Claudia had to go through a series of interviews. It wasn't a shoe-in. She had to go to multiple interviews. She then had to go on tape again. We had to see her house. She had to send photos. She had to talk again. Then she had to get co-signed by Kenya as, are y'all really friends? Kenya said, we are friends. Then she had to film for free and get her foot wet. It's a process. So when Shamea was approached, the reason why it didn't go as far as it could have, because Shamea is everything, the reason why Shamea's position never went further than what it could have been is because at that time on the show, if you were married, your husband had to be on the show. There was no your husband's on episode 1 and we see him on YouTube. That was never the case. So let's have a real conversation. The goalpost was moved. The goalpost was moved. So when Shamea got the opportunity to come on the show this season, it's because the goalpost was moved.
Don't you think? But didn't Porsha, okay, in her defense, didn't Porsha recommend her at one point?
That's what she said. That's what she's saying. Yeah.
But you know what? I will say this. When you know that, okay, your best friend, I'm a recommender, but it's probably never going to happen because I know for a fact her man doesn't want to do it. You can throw it out there, but then probably in your wildest dreams never thought it would really ever happen because her husband was so firm with it. Maybe that could have been what happened, but then it ended up happening when she got on anyways, and maybe she's not feeling it. you know?
My thing is the idea of Shamea being a housewife is not new, right?
Yeah.
In the context of their friendship. So I wonder, is that really the reason why they're having these issues now? Because Shamea is a housewife. I mean, it's not a new idea. It's not a new concept. It's something that I believe they've talked about before. If there's been interest, right? Like serious interest, multiple seasons prior, they have had to have had a conversation about this. So I don't know if it's just the actual, feeling of her being in scene with her, or seeing her tangibly a part of this cast that is triggering Porsha in that way. Or I don't know what kind of deep-seated issues are materializing because of this, but something is going on. And as you can see, the other day, Porsha made a post on Instagram that she deleted, where she basically issued a sent a warning shot out to Shamea about having conversations about their moms on camera and whatever issues their moms have had in their friendship. So that's some deep, old school, family rooted shit that goes back way far beyond these cameras. And that's the work that they have to get done. I don't know if they don't have those types of conversations, I don't know if they'll be able to make something as simple as them being cast members work. I don't know.
You know that saying they say, like, people want you to do well, but not better than them. It's something like that, right? I think when she said, she knows she's gonna come on. But think about it. The return of Porsha to Housewives was supposed to be the huge return for Porsha back to the Atlanta Housewives, where everything was going to be centered around her life, her divorce with Simon, and all the messiness, all the questions that we were left hanging with when Porsha unceremoniously left back in the day, right? Left, leaving us all to not really get answers about it, right? So when she's coming back, it was definitely billed as it was 100% supposed to be Porsha's show. She was going to be the new Nene, right, of the show.
Yeah.
And when Simon pulled the rug out from shut up, Kat. Damn, you're being a Porsha right now. You're being a hater. Anyways, she ain't letting me shine. I feel like I'm Shamea right now. Anyways, sorry. Okay, so I think she really thought that, of course, I don't care if she comes on the show. It ain't going to affect me. I'm the queen bee. Oh, this is still my thing. It ain't going to hurt me either way. But then right before, when the rug got pulled out from underneath, Simon put a stop and was being petty, I think. He kind of messed up her season. Now your worst nightmares come true. She's on, and now all the fans are saying, oh my God, she's the it girl. She's the girl. In the first few weeks, we even thought that about Shamea, right? We were like, yo, Shamea, before Angela Oakley pulled him from. So I'm sure that caused some tension when you can tell when the producers are hot for someone else. You're hearing about all the days they're filming, they're doing events around their life and at their house. And maybe that made her feel a different way. Like, it's almost like, let me bring on my show. And then you end up shining more than me on my show. I can understand how you might feel away. Nothing is right, but I understand I understand how Porsha could feel that way. Nothing is right. But maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Mimi, what do you think?
I just said I just said that. The fact that Porsha in what's going on in her life is kind of dissipated, and Shamea has the family, the husband, everything fabulous, and is able to do what she's doing, is causing a friction in their friendship. And the dynamic is shifting, and now it's this thing between them. So I know I'm positive Porsha feels some type of way. And Shamea's just like, hey girl, I'm just doing what I do. But Porsha's like, damn, so it's causing this thing between them.
She thought Shamea was going to come on as a support for her storyline, not as to overlap her or, eclipse her. Although it was in the beginning, but not really now as much. But that's what I think.
Yeah, and I also think too, it's the fact that, shout out to Angela Oakley. I give props where props are due. In my opinion, I think Angela Oakley saw an opportunity when she saw those girls laugh, and she said, I got one better for you. The next episode, she said, hey, Porsha, Shamea said this about you. I think it's the fact that they brought this issue to the forefront, and now they're forced to deal with it because Angela, and this is no shade to her, Angela did her job as a housewife and made sure to be a force multiplier, and she knew some tea about their friendship and said, I'm gonna get y'all back, but I'm gonna get y'all back in a very different, unique way. And she did. we would not know any of this is happening. And I want to be clear. The only reason we know there's issues between Shamea and Porsha is because Angela told us what Shamea said as she was pinky swearing.
100%.
She played chess.
100%. A masterful performance as a first season housewife. Masterful. She literally blew that shit all the way up. The minute she saw them outside talking shit about her, she was like, okay, y'all want to play? Let's play. And ultimately that makes for great television, right? The problem is that there's a real life, real world impact that has fractured a real relationship. It's not fodder for the show type shit, but that's what happens when you put yourself in that position. When you say things like, oh, she better be glad I don't fuck her man, and the other person is laughing and nobody really gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? This is what you end up with. They didn't know how Angela was going to come back. And she played that game so quiet and smooth. She put that tennis skirt on and that visor, put that wig in a ponytail, sat out in the chairs at that rental property and said, Shamea feels like it may be a lopsided friendship. And
Yo,
Porsha
Angela
in front of her face like this.
then she shows up in this last episode with Cynthia and Porsha, like nothing ever happened. We would never know, like just 2 weeks ago, that Porsha was talking about fucking her husband, and Angela's just playing the long game. She's like, oh yeah, it's all good. We're moving on. Yo, Angela, very high IQ, very high reality TV IQ.
Yeah, no, she clocked it. So listen, I will say this, all jokes aside, and I do mean this. Shamea and Porsha, what I did see last night is there's still love there. And in my opinion, they have history, and it's their history, to me, that's keeping them together. I think when you look at both of their lives, and I'm somebody who lived in Atlanta and I know a lot about this, Porsha and Shamea are in two very different friend groups.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because who you bond with at 13, barring blue magic hair grease for your edges, liking the same member of New Edition, those are very different things you have in common than when you are in your 40s. And I think if Porsha and Shamea really sat down and had a real conversation, their friendship is based on the numerical nature of how long they've known each other. Because as somebody who knows how Atlanta friend groups work, and we'll talk about that another time, child, because that's a whole episode, Claudia and Dustin and Mimi. Mimi, you know that. Mimi, am I lying? Atlanta friendships are very cliquish. Girl, Mimi. Okay, like I said, I think Porsha and Shamea should sit down and say, we will always have love for each other, and let's find a way of being respectful. But this idea, because listen, it's unfortunate that the audience is taking this best friend word too seriously. I, Carlos King, do not think for a second that they are best friends based on what best friends mean. I think they have known each other for 30 years. They love each other. But if Porsha moved to Idaho and Shamea moved to North Dakota, they'll speak 3 times a year.
I think that Shamea was a best friend to Porsha. I think Porsha is a best friend to nobody but money and men. Honestly, if I'm being real, we see opportunity get in the way of that. I definitely feel like Shamea is showing like, I think she's very hurt. But again, I think she's been in the beta position, that friendship, and Porsha's not willing to see her on her level. That's what I think. And I think there's a lot of nostalgia between the two. Yeah, we've been friends since 1981 or whatever year they were born. I don't know when they were born, but I think there is nostalgia. But I do think that one was definitely more of a friend to the other. And I think Shamea finally got sick of it. And that's what made her feel like it was okay to talk badly about her friend or share tea about her friend to new friends.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Shamea, she has maxed out, basically. And that's why she had on them jeans that was busting out like that, because she's busting at the seams with her feelings right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why she had them jeans on, all that ass tied up in them jeans like that, because she's busting at the seams. She has fucking had it. You can only take so when they put up that sit down. Remember she had on them one cheek, two cheek jeans with some laces in them. Yeah, up in there. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was great, but she's bursting at the seams like that with her real feelings, and good for her, because there's nothing that feels better than finally getting some shit off your chest that you
or
really
your butt, Dustin.
or your butt. As soon as she got in the car, them strings was like, psst, you know what I'm saying? She relaxed as soon as she got in the car. But I don't know. That's a lot of work. I also think that, especially as an adult, when you get into a certain age and certain stage of life, friendships should not require that much work. And if I have to explain to you that you have to respect me, then that means that there's a severe misalignment here. And maybe we don't need to be friends. And that doesn't always have to be a messy, nasty break. Sometimes you can just make a decision. I'm going to go right, you go left. So
once you start little girl in your friend, or you feel like you're getting little girl or little boy by your friend, the respect is gone.
Yeah.
Like you should never feel that way about your friend. Like I have to always be on defense. Oh, let me have one in the chamber in case you come at me today about that little.
But that's not a friendship. That's not a friendship. That's a motherfucker, you know.
Claudia and I literally have never had an argument. Never. In 27 years, we've never had an argument. We've always respected each other. We've always, felt like we were here all the time, every step of the way. We grew with each other. Yep. She didn't outgrow me. I didn't outgrow her. It was a mutual respect, our entire relationship. And I think that's why we have lasted and been, the type of friends that we are today. Like
never even a raising of the voice. Not one. Never. Not one time. So it is possible, y'all. And there have been times where we were in different levels, career-wise, financially, where maybe I'm here, she's there, and vice versa, where I'm here, she's there. And it didn't change the friendship because our friendship wasn't based on being on television. Our friendship is based on, I fucked with you. You were funny. Like, I remember back in the day, Mimi had me in some shit. I almost got arrested by the federales. And I should have been mad at her. I should have cussed her ass out when the DEA came to see me. But I did not. Federal agents came to see me, but I did not. We still stay cool. We use humor. We laugh about things. When I remember Mimi, when no one threw her baby shower for when she was pregnant with Eva, me and Alta, who introduced us, we went to Mimi's place and we surprised her. That's when Stevie didn't have a car. He was real nice and humble. He was making food for you because he had nowhere. He couldn't even drive nowhere because he was driving your car. Anyways, we went and brought a baby shower to you. That's what real friends are for. It ain't about like what level, who's on what. It's not about that. Like our friendship has had nothing to do with status. Nothing to do with status.
Yeah.
If your friendship is based on that, you're not in a friendship. You're in a business relationship or you're co-stars. That's it.
You make a great point. There's a difference between a regular disagreement that you can have with a person, right? But when we arguing about how you look at me, how you value me, or if you don't value me, like if we arguing about that kind of shit, pull the plug. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that should just be understood in general. If we're friends, we respect each other, we show up at a certain level, we support each other. That's what you do. Anytime that we're arguing about whether or not you treat me like I'm valuable, fuck that. Like, we don't even need to talk no more. That's how I feel. So I'm with you, Mimi. I'd have got my shoes and got the fuck out of there too.
Not you bring it back to the shoes.
Hey, Mimi.
Mimi
on the comment said Mimi's face like, okay, Claudia, that's enough. You know I tell that story all the time. Like, seriously.
Oh, girl.
Yes. No, we
had all them $5 bills.
That's a whole nother. That's actually a TV show. I want to get to two more things before we end this live. There were tons of conversation. I watched the episode a couple of times to prepare for tonight. There were conversations about the dynamic between Angela and Charles. Mm-hmm. There was a scene that took place in this episode. Angela was like, "You love me, give me a kiss, blah, blah, blah." And Charles was nonchalant. The audience on Twitter felt that Charles is not into Angela. I didn't call me the minority in the situation. I didn't look at it that way. I think I don't know Charles. I'm basing this off of the show. I think Charles is heavily sarcastic I think Charles reminds me a lot of my father, like the old school black man who's just, you know, they're very nonchalant in nature. And I think that's a dynamic of Angela and Charles' marriage. But a lot of people are saying red flags to match Angela's red dress. Did y'all see Charles and Angela's dynamic as a concern?
No.
I did not.
Go ahead.
No, I did not. If anybody has been around Charles in the past, he's just a very nonchalant person. Period. Like, you know, he's laid back. So this is the first we're seeing of them. People, you have to know who the players are. He's just a laid back individual. He's not all.
You know him, Mimi?
I've been, yes, from back in the day.
He's always like that. He's just always like that.
Yeah, he's not being anything other than himself.
First of all, that's her husband, right? They've been married for a long time, and he's fully appearing, fully filming with her. He wants her to have the spotlight, like in their scenes, excuse me, like his personality shows, but he's not trying to steal the spotlight from her. He loves that woman. He's filming with her. He's contributing to her contribution to the show in a way that is great. And I think, just like Carlos said, he's sarcastic, a shit talker. You know what I'm saying? And they have that kind of banter with each other. They go back and forth, but I don't think that it indicates nor reflects a break or a red flag in their marriage. Their relationship is just fine. He's just talking shit. He don't care about this TV shit. That man is an NBA legend. You know what I'm saying? This is just another project to him that his wife is doing. So he's not even fully invested in. I'm assuming, these are all assumptions, right? But based on what we've seen, I'm assuming he's not invested like that in the show. And he figures when the cameras come on, let's talk a little shit. Let's be playful with each other. And she doesn't seem to be offended by it at all. She feels completely secure in her relationship. So I'm here for it. I like it. Charles Oakley is funny to me.
I ain't gonna lie. At first, because I love Angela so much, and so I was like, "Ooh!" Like, I just understand how those scenes will be misinterpreted by people if you're not familiar with their relationship. Now, again, I got to use a personal example. When I did, I did a reality show with KJ, right? And we got
VH1's Family Reunion.
No, it was
Couples therapy.
Couples therapy. I'm sorry.
We were in a really good place and we went on that show, right? Like, we were cool. We just honestly went on there to get money. Okay, we were like, we're fine, right? But
that's real.
Yeah, and at the time, we weren't having electric sex at the time because we were 3 years in, right? And it was kind of like, we went through COVID. We just got out of COVID, where again, you know, we just sat around eating food, stuff on our face every day. Anyways, long story short, we talked to each other kind of like we talk shit to each other. And an outsider looking in, hearing us for the first time would be like, yo, but then he's also helped me take tracks out. He's also clipping my cat's toenails. He's also giving me back, rubbing my dry ass, tore up heels, putting lotion on my feet after he puts the lotion in the microwave. Like, you don't see that, but on TV. So when there was a scene on the show where they asked if he was sexually attracted to me at the time. Now, I was feeling no at the time, and he was feeling no at the time. I lied to try to protect him on TV. He didn't. And everyone hated him. Everyone thought that I was with a man that, even in the comments, I've seen some people, oh, you was with a man that didn't even want your pussy. No, you got to understand there's different kinds of relationships. There's some people go on TV and be at a piano and act like they're so in love and talk that shit. Mimi, right? Like, there's men that do all that performative bullshit, but then they'll treat you fucked up. Then there's guys that may come off rough around the edges like that, but she understands her man's sense of humor. And I don't think Angela would have him on there if he was really meaning that. Now, I didn't like it at first, outside looking in, but then I had to think, no, there's a lot of relationships like that. And like Dustin said, they don't pay those guys any money. This is a multi-millionaire legend from the NBA who's like, girl, I guess I'll come shoot today. I don't care about this shit. So he's going, but like dragging his feet, like, oh, whatever. I got to hear about girl gossip. Do you think Charles Oakley gives a shit about what Shamea and Porsha and Kelly? He don't give a shit about that, but he's there and he's showing up, is showing you he's supporting his wife.
Correct.
No, he's showing up, and I give him all the props for that. Okay, so next topic of conversation.
Can't stand you, self-aware.
Sorry, Claudia, Dustin, and Mimi. I'm just having fun tonight. Okay, so I want to get to Juiceadora and Ralph's scene. I'm sorry, Ralph wasn't in the scene. Juiceadora is going through a divorce with Ralph. there was a scene between her and her mother. What we did learn in this episode is that Ralph wants 40% of Drew Sidora's company, which is Drew Sidora LLC, that she says she started before she even was married to Ralph. Ralph feels like he should have ownership with it. Drew's mother stated in this episode that their divorce is having an impact on the kids and how the kids are acting out. So much so that the grandmother said, they're even acting out to me, the grandmother, and that never happens. Drew Sidora broke down, left the scene, and it goes to show you what was going on in this. Ralph was not able to defend himself in the episode, but Honey Bunny Ralph did defend himself on Twitter. Ralph did a series of tweets. He did mention that he wanted Drew Sidora's mother to pretty much keep his name out of her mouth because he was there for her when she took all of her husband's money and needed something. Drew Sidora's father is now deceased. Drew Sidora retweeted and said to keep her father's name out of it and her mother's. And you're doing a good job playing a victim. He said you did too. And then Drew Sidora said you're doing a good job holding a peach. Based on that entire dynamic, do you think Ralph deserves 40% of Drew's company? I want to start with Claudia.
Hell no. No, I don't. That's very corny. Like, you're not getting 40% of my company. Why? Why do you need 40? That's the company she had before they got together, isn't it? No, absolutely not. Just like she shouldn't get 40% of what he had before her. I've always been a believer of that. Like, you do not take stuff that I built and acquired before you came in the picture. Absolutely not. Now, you can talk about in a marriage, there's marital assets that you can maybe have a conversation about that. But before I even married, absolutely not. Can you imagine all the work that all of us have done on this panel? We marry someone tomorrow and they say, I get 40% of what you got before I even got. No. He's being petty at this point.
Mimi?
It just hit me.
Yo.
It just hit me.
I don't know the details of this situation. How long did she have the company before they got married? Do we know these details?
She said that she had it before they were married. They got married 5 months after dating.
Okay. Listen, 40% of her company, if this was something that they've been working on throughout the course of their marriage, and they've been married for 9-10 years together, and he has helped her every step of the way with her career, which is to my understanding, that probably was the situation. I think he might be entitled to some of it, maybe not 40%, but something. If he's been there and been the backbone of the situation the entire time. My opinion.
This is why there are resources and things available to people like prenuptial agreements to iron all this kind of dumb shit out in the first place. Especially by the time they were coupled, Drew was fully in the business of being Drew Sidora, right? And so she should have known better than to protect herself, than to not be protected in that way. I thought that was some real emotion from Drew for once that we got on the show when she was crying about her children. You know what I'm saying? She was sensitive about that. And I don't have kids, but I can imagine anybody with kids would be sensitive when you're discussing the way that they're reacting to a change in the home like that. And so I thought, on some G shit, I didn't think it was appropriate for him to be talking shit about her mama online. To me, it was completely ineffective. All he was doing was speaking to the audience and fueling gossip and rumors and driving that engine of negativity that has really harmed his marriage in the first place. So he shouldn't have been smarter than that. He should have been more mature. I'm sure his emotions are running high too, though. You know what I'm saying? And so this is just what we end up with. I would like to see Drew and her mama discuss Drew as a person and who she is. That's what I would like to see Drew and her mom discuss on camera. We all know that her mom is she works in ministry, I believe, and she's a pastor, a spiritual advisor, something like that. What would be good for the fans to see is Drew having a come to Jesus moment with her mama. Like, mama, this is who I am. These are some of the decisions that I made. And this is the woman that I am today. And I'm going to walk in those shoes fully. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen that. So when Drew decides to be real about the way that she feels emotion connected to her kids, dealing with this divorce, that's great. But we still don't know who Drew is because Drew be lying all the time on the show. That's just the reality of it. So that little slim, glimmer of honesty was great, and it was real, and we appreciated it because it's very vulnerable to share. But I'm not interested in no conversations between Drew and her mama, to be honest with you. I'm not.
Are you interested in a conversation between Drew and Rab as it relates to what's been going on social media? So I want to get your thoughts on this. So they have this beef on social media that occurred last night, just based on everything that Ralph has said about Drew. Last week, he intimated that he filed for divorce because Drew allegedly was messing around with Ty, which is Mimi Faust's ex-girlfriend. When we did speak about that last week, Claudia Jordan made a very poignant statement that left me and Dustin Ross, we gagged. Claudia Jordan alleged that Ty, your former girlfriend, Mimi, is an opportunist and that she only dates women on reality television, and that she did say to you when y'all were friends that you need to watch out for her. She's not the right one for you. I don't feel good about her. We are watching Basketball Wives this season, which, by the way, Basketball Wives is great this season. For those who watch, it's a really good season. Mimi, have you watched Basketball Wives?
I have not.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. So on Basketball, Claudia.
Here we go.
50 years. So on Basketball Wives this season, I'm loving this season. Ming Lee and Ty used to date, and she saw on Ty's phone that she was calling Drew Sidora for 50 hours. And she asked Siri on her Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max, it was 300 something minutes. What are those in hours? Siri said, girl, that's 50 hours, child. And Ty said that they had a conversation because she was going through a divorce. Claudia thinks Ty's an opportunist. Do you, Mimi Faust, being in a relationship with her for how long was it?
Almost 7 years.
You were in a relationship with Ty for 7 years. Is Ty an opportunist who only dates women who are famous because of a come up?
After me, yes. I was her step on the ladder, and now it's, yes, 1000%.
Why do you feel that way?
Track record. Look at it. The whole situation with Drew, and I know they want to say they're just friends, but I know different. And then she hanging around Drew. Here comes Ming, and then Ming, and now Basketball Wives, and it's just keep on stepping up that ladder, girl. I'm just slinging that little pussy around. I get it.
She's been on all 3 franchises. Like, she's found vagina on all 3 franchises. Like, she's Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop, and Atlanta Housewives. Like, she's like,
yeah.
Now I'm not gonna make my joke, but she's
making them round.
Claudia's pushing herself. Congratulations.
I censored myself just now.
Proud of you, friend.
It was really hard to do it. I'll say what I was going to say in the group chat with you guys after this. But it was a good one.
Making the rounds.
So when it comes to Ty, do you think Ty ever really loved you?
Yeah, I think she did. I also think she had, she had her reasons why, I'll tell you this, and I should have taken heed when it was given to me. But like early on in our relationship, she told me that she was a fan of mine. This is when we had already started dating. So if someone that you're dating reveals to you that they were a fan of yours, she told me she was watching the show with her girlfriend, and the girlfriend was like, "Is this going to be a problem?"
Oh,
Ugh.
oh! Somebody said Ty's gonna be on Huntsville next.
Why would Carlos fall out laughing like that?
Love and Marriage Detroit. Ty Young joins the cast. Ty and Kristina. Oh, there's a new divorce. Let me swoop on in and get with someone who's getting newly divorced. Let me be your comforter, girlfriend.
Listen, she's good. She's listen.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing, Mimi. I will like to end by saying this. Tomorrow, I am drop. You say what, Claudia?
He's gonna beat me up one day.
Claudia,
she a big motherfucker too. She like 6'2" or 190, 200 pounds.
I'm watching Basketball Wives, and listen, I've met Ty because Mimi is my friend in real life, so I've met her once. Ty has swag, and Ty,
for sure.
Listen, I don't like women, obviously. Ty has, how can I describe it? She
seems really charismatic.
Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah.
Ty is very charismatic. I'm watching her on Basketball Wives, and she's very charismatic, like Dustin said.
Well, she should. This is her third reality show. She's a veteran at this point. She's damn near New York's level at this point. She's been on more shows than New York. Like, what the hell? New York's the queen of reality TV. That's no shade to New York because she's the queen.
You said Ty is the queen of reality television?
Damn near.
She's a veteran now. There are 3 different franchises.
Who was the athlete that did like multiple sports? Was it be like Bo? Never mind. I'm asking the wrong people. There was
Juanita Leonard, the lady that was married to Sugar Ray Leonard, and what baseball player was she married? Juanita Leonard. She was married to a lot of people, a lot of athletes.
Like Bo Jackson. He did baseball, football. Ty has been on more reality shows than Bo Jackson's been in sports. Ty is the Bo Jackson of reality show relationships to women. Crazy. I need to get a gun. I'm gonna get a gun, by the way. And Ty, if you come over here, I know you be in Dallas a lot. I got a baseball bat by the door, and it's a right to carry state.
You are not about to sit up here.
No, I just don't want her to come shoot me. I don't want her to come beat me up. Ty is big and strong.
She is fine. I think Ty is cool enough to understand.
I don't like me. Ty don't like me, right, Mimi?
I know. But I will say this. I am dropping my exclusive interview tomorrow, and I am, drum roll, listen, forks, please.
It's a forks.
I'm dropping my exclusive raindrop tomorrow with Drew Sidora.
Okay.
I sit down with Drew Sidora, and she answers every single question. Truthfully. Okay. I asked her about Ty. I asked her about Ralph. We spoke about the girls on the show. We spoke about me feeling early on that she was acting on the show. Mm-hmm. We get to everything. She literally sat down and said, "You need to ask me everything today." So much so, Drew Sidora had a booking that was scheduled after our interview. She canceled her booking to talk to me more because she said, after I speak to you, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And it was a very truthful, honest conversation. I'm dropping that tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Make sure y'all subscribe. And we get into it. So I can't wait for y'all to watch it because I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it next Monday.
Carlos,
you do know she's an actress. You do know this.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Were you surprised by anything in the interview? Were you gagged in the interview? Were you like, Did she should have. Did she tell you things that you thought she might lie about this, and she actually?
I was surprised that she was answering all my questions. I mean, and the one thing Drew did that is rare in interviews, Claudia, you did it to me once. It's rare when this happens. Drew Sidora encouraged me to go deeper in the conversation. She said, "No, let's talk about it." And I was like, she said, I've been waiting for this for 2 years. I've canceled interviews. I've been waiting on you. She said, you are somebody who I feel like give people a chance. You humanize people. And she said, I know everything you want to ask me, ask me. And Drew Sidora answered every single question and prolonged the interview to make sure she answered every question.
Why won't Andy have her on Watch What Happens Live? Why has she never been on that show?
I don't know. I think maybe because of scheduling. I know she was doing a movie as well. So I don't know. But we didn't talk about that. But I do know she's been doing movies, and this interview happened because she was able to have a free time on her schedule. Like I said, she canceled a booking that was scheduled after mine. So listen, no shade to the world, but Drew is booked and busy. But we had a real conversation, and I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised by the interview.
Mimi, what's that look? Mimi, what's that look? I know you. What's that look, Mimi?
Can't wait. I would like to watch the interview, and then I would like to have a conversation after.
Okay. So the thing, so I'm dropping the interview tomorrow at 10 a.m. So to all of my people who work, please tell your boss that you have an important meeting between 10 and 11. Put on your headphones and your headscarf to hide it and watch the interview and listen to it. And next week we'll talk about it.
Hey, Mimi.
Yes, we will.
Mimi.
Yes.
I'm a good ass friend.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say.
You are.
Like next level though.
Oh, you are. You are.
Next level.
Like you fucking are.
It's 10 a.m. Eastern Raindrops. So all right, so Claudia, Mimi, Dustin, is there anything you guys want to promote before I let y'all go?
Yes. I have a skincare line coming out called Olarami Skin.
Go on, Mimi.
Stay tuned for that. It's coming out very soon. Facial products, face wash, toner, moisturizer, and that's just for starters. And I have a whole host of other things coming facial-wise, skincare after that.
That's not all. That's not all.
That's not all.
Wow. I guess, you know what? I'm the Shamea to your Porsha because I am feeling away like I'm not seen.
Yo, I've been so focused on
I know, I'm messing with you.
That out. 2 things. I had my feet done. I can't wait to show you guys my feet. I had my feet done. Same doctor that did Claudia's feet. I got brand new feet. It's absolutely amazing. But I have a show coming out called Cleaning Up My Life. Claudia is the executive producer of the show, and it's showing my transition from my time on television to my time off of television to me getting to where I am right now and moving beyond. So look forward to that.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So happy for her.
Congratulations, Mimi. You know, I want to see you win in every single aspect of your entire existence. So continue to do that. And I love the fact that you and Claudia are producing shows together, because the future of this business is doing more independent projects and not waiting for people to call you, but for you to do your own doing. So I'm proud of you two for that.
Thank you.
And please, producers out there, I know Mimi's in Atlanta. There's so many people that are shooting films. Please call my girl, Mimi. We worked together recently on a film, and she does her thing. Mimi can act. She can host. She's fun. She's very transparent. She's a great person to interview. Like, I really want y'all to blow up her line, blow up her phones, I need a good representation for her in Atlanta. There's a lot of films out there, and we want to see more of her on our screens in all capacities. So I think she's really good.
And that's what friends do. Like Claudia has every step of the way. Any opportunity that she's found, she's put it in my lap. That's what friends do. So thank you, friend.
You're my real friend. Thank you. And thanks for coming to the play. She was at my play this weekend. We had such a good time. We had to come out in Atlanta.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, yes. I told them already. I'm like, y'all need to use Mimi on something. I told Jacarius. The play is over. My last city was last night in Charlotte. I'm so exhausted. But it was a great run. And shout out to Jacarius Johnson, Carl Payne, the entire cast. It was so good. It was a good time. Demetria is on there as well. She did her thing. Jill Marie Jones, Flex Alexander, Brian J. White, who else? Naomi Booker. It's the whole cast is just really, really good. And my podcast on Wednesdays with Erica, Accidentally Informed. And now I'm looking for my next gig. Like I have time now, so I'm looking for my next gig. I think of this producer I know, Carlos King, like he needs to do something in Dallas. We talked about it, but we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Dustin, what you got going on?
Well, right now I have my thinking cap on because that would be dope. A hot single girl show in Dallas about Claudia and all her dope ass homegirls. You know what I'm saying? With that Kingdom Reign Entertainment stamp. That would be great.
He got the deck already. He got the deck.
That would be great. Listen, I'm very excited. You can go to DustinRossLive.com and see all my upcoming tour dates for my stand-up comedy tour. We're kicking things off May 31st in Seattle. Then we're going to LA, Chicago, St. Louis, Philly, DC, San Fran, Atlanta. And we got 2 more shows we're about to announce that people are going to be excited about. So I'm happy right now. I was trying out all my jokes in the Ubers and shit when I was in LA, and all their shoulders were shaking. They was laughing. So I felt good. You know what I'm saying? So looking forward to that. Fuck with me. Go to DustinRossLive.com, pull up and get your laugh on. Have a great night. Congratulations to you ladies on your new project. I love seeing you do your thing, Claudia. Carlos, congratulations to you on every damn thing, because I didn't get to speak on it earlier, but the Love and Marriage Detroit reunion part 2 was incredible. So we definitely have to talk about that soon. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's up with me, y'all.
Yeah. We can't wait to go see your show, Dustin. Are we still on for DC, Carlos?
Yes, we are.
Yep. Good.
I can't wait.
And I'm glad we're still on for DC, Carlos. I'm glad we're still on for DC.
We are. It's gonna have to go. No, listen. To be able to be in the faces of you two in person, and you know, if we're all gonna be there, maybe there's other stuff we can do while we're there. You never know.
Not? Let's do it.
I'm censoring myself, Carlos. I'm growing.
Claudia, you are. Claudia is the only person in my life that makes me giggle in a very shocking, uncomfortable, and surprising way. You are.
I like to go right to the edge where you think I'm about to.
Yes, you do. You do. It's all good. But no, I love the 3 of y'all, obviously. Mimi, Faust, thanks for coming in to this Night Live. You are my friend for life, and you know that already. But thank you for coming on, and you are more than welcome to come back any and every time. Keep your phone on. And Dustin and Claudia, I will see y'all next Monday.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Love
Thanks,
y'all.
Carlos. We appreciate you, for real.
All right. Love you guys. What a great show. A great fan. I forgot to be super chats. Oh God. I love you. I love you, Carlos. Get your dinner from your teeth. Oh my God. I have something in my teeth. I know. Claudia is a good friend. She texted me and said, you got some of your teeth, so I got it all. Okay. Ty Wilson. Y'all some beautiful people. Thank you so much. Let's see. We got McKinsey. Like Kim Z said in season 10 reunion, you're reaching. That's what I feel like Porsha is doing concerning Shamea. We got D Hayden, my man, Dustin has arrived. We love us sub Dustin. Okay, we got Ms. Kiss Me again doing RHOA season 9, still needs closure. Porsha never defended Shamea on camera. Private apologies aren't enough for public embarrassment. Resolve is needed. All right. D had it. I'm sorry for your friend who side you, begged, borrowed, and stole. Okay. Hi, Nicole, Brandy. Let me see. We got Ascended Beauty. I love you, Carlos, but let's call a spade a spade. You love you some Porsha, and the goalpost is moving Porsha on Atlanta all the time. Listen, I love it when the raindrops be reading me, child. Okay. I love you too, baby, by the way. Brandy, I think maybe Shamea submits to Porsha because the beef was with the moms. That maybe Shamea's mom was wrong, and now Shamea feels the need to compensate for that. We got sophisticated chats. The real breakdown the friendship from their mother's drama, and either of them don't want to discuss it. Okay. We got Miss Kisme. We love you. Porsha avoids the mom's drama, just like her own show. When she sidestepped the fight with Dennis' mom, she shuts down what she doesn't want in her face. Okay. Let's see. We got Live Well LA in Atlanta. The dark-skinned girl supposed to be the sidekick, i.e. Mariah and Quad, on the French, or the friendship won't last. And then we have Micah Messi, playing devil's advocate. I think Porsha is mentally drained and can't show up for Shamea the way Shamea needs her to. Hey, Aries twins. All right. Raindrops, I love you guys. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for hopping into this live. My Drew Sidora exclusive is dropping tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel. Hit the notification button and make sure y'all subscribe to this channel so you don't miss an episode. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all tomorrow with Drew Sidora.